All right, today I'm probably going to talk about something that might actually upset you. It's probably going to irritate some sales reps, but I want to kind of hit you between the eyes a little bit with this. I think, personally, is one of the worst things a salesperson can say, that's not my job. That's not my job. When they say things like, hey, that's not my job because I just sell, or that's not my job, somebody else in the company should do it, that is absolutely one of the worst things a sales rep can say, and let me explain why. Nothing happens until someone takes personal responsibility. And if you're in sales, that's you. That's you. Nothing happens until you take personal responsibility. So, let me explain a little bit. I need you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how many clients have you lost over the years because you felt like the company let you down, whatever product you were selling? Maybe, just maybe, you didn't set the right expectation with your client. That's one thing. But what I'm going to focus today on is the second thing is, maybe you didn't communicate everything to your client, to your company, of what the client is. Do you know why they bought? What was the reason they bought? Because everybody, no matter what the product is, every customer has different reasons for why they bought. And I'm going to explain to you in a second about that. But usually, the problem is the sales reps are saying, that's not my job, I sold the deal. But they're not communicating with their company of what the conversation was like with their client, and there's a miscommunication. And sometimes the company is not doing what they told the client you were going to do. And here's part of it is nobody cares about your client as much as you do. You have got to understand that. And that goes back to nothing happens till you take personal responsibility. Since nobody cares about it as much, if you will get past complaining about that and just accept it and deal with it and make sure that with the communication you have with your company about what the client, why they bought and what their expectations are, your company is going to do a better job of delivering what the client is expecting. So, let me give you an example. I used to run this advertising company. They had management coming in and help execute we would do advertising, we'd have this management team come in. And when I sold the product, if I sold it and I had an hour and a half long conversation with my client, there was different reasons always of why they said they were going to buy it. Was it they wanted to have a spark in their business? Was it because they just needed more cash flow? Was it because they wanted some training? Was it because they wanted to kind of show to their staff that it can be done? Various different reasons. Was it they were trying to sell some aged inventory? Whatever it may be. But if I didn't communicate the conversation I had with my client to the management staff that went in to do the event, they might think it's just all about the money, the cash flow. Whereas the client might have told me, listen, I need your guys to focus on some training. They're not hearing, my staff is not hearing it. So they go in, they make all this money, and then the client went and resigned, and everybody wonder why. Well, it's because they didn't focus any time on the training. Whereas if I communicate with them, make sure that when you go in there the day before, you spend an enormous amount of time in the training. Each day do the training meetings. They knew to do that, and then make the money also. It was all good, and we got the re-signs. And we continued doing business month after month, year after year. So that was taking personal responsibility, making sure, and I saw as I started training sales reps to sell that same product, they would stop after they sold the deal, and they didn't have the conversation with their staff, the management staff that was going into the customer's business on what was the reasons why he decided to buy. And then when they didn't get the re-sign, they'd get all frustrated. So I'm telling you right now, nothing happens until someone takes personal responsibility. Take it on yourself, and you'll have clients that'll stay with you a lot longer, and get over this whole thing about my company didn't do this, my company do that. Quit blaming others. Charge forward today.